Move on to new business. Payment of bills.
Resolved, the Board of Education, Township High School District 2A, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the payment of bills as presented and listed in the June 13, 2017 Board Agenda Packet.
Have a second?
Second.
One second. Okay. Discussion?
Scott, you had some questions, correct? Page
First,
number?
well, the first one I want to address is just the overall out-of-district tuition costs that are out there. When board members submitted questions, just wanting to know a little bit more about the out-of-district tuition. All the costs that were highlighted were special education students who are placed out of district. The district is responsible to provide the service for these students, regardless of where they're placed. And some of these costs can be reimbursable to the district. We do have, I'd call it a significant amount of students who are outplaced. And as you can tell by the tuition payments, it's not cheap.
How are those schools picked? Do we pick those, or how do we decide where
That's going to be.
I would
They go.
imagine the special education team picks the best placement for the child based on their needs and what needs are unable to be met here at our meet.
There's an IEP. Every student has an IEP. There's an IEP team. That includes school administrators, school staff, the parents, any advocates the parents want to bring, or if they have legal counsel. And then there's an annual review of that student's IEP, and then it's determined on whether or not, and the IEP is individualized education plan. And so then it's determined on whether or not we can provide the services that student needs. If we cannot, then we have to work on an alternative placement. And then the group will review, and our director of special ed will work with the parent to try to find an agreeable location. Because you can get sometimes where parents will request something, and when the IEP team really looks at that placement, they need to make sure, like, wait, this is just a private boarding school. This isn't really something that helps with your student's disability or something.
Right.
So there is a review process and a checks and balance process that the parents and the IEP team go through before the location is determined.
Excuse me.
And you said we do get some reimbursement?
There is some reimbursement
From whom?
for it. From the state.
And have we gotten our reimbursement?
We have not.
we're on the list?
We've received, with the categoricals for this year, we've received one payment.
So what percent of reimbursement do we?
We're supposed to get the one each quarter.
What percent do we get reimbursed? So the full amount of tuition?
No,
Right. How much?
no, it's based off of cost and different factors. I don't know the exact.
Right, but it's nowhere near
But
the
it's nowhere
actual-
near
right.
the cost that we are paying out.
So when Scott does his budget presentation in July, the state budget, you get two payments from the state. You get what they call categoricals and your general state aid. We've received general state aid, but our categoricals, which is like special ed reimbursement for outplaced tuition, special ed transportation reimbursement, some of those things. Roughly, we have about $675,000 we were supposed to receive, and as of today, we received
About half of that.
about half.
But that's accounting for one payment from the prior year and then one payment from this current year.
So really, we received
So this year,
25%.
yeah, we really haven't received
25%.
5% we received this year. All right.
Other questions on bills?
Yes, board book page 125. Creative mirrors. We installed new mirrors in the spin room. Next year, they're going to be utilizing the spin room for curriculum classes, and it also helps out with the spin classes that we offer to the community.
We offer spin classes to the community.
Riverside Park
Riverside.
District does.
Park
Through
District.
our-
Oh, okay.
through our government agreement.
Bad idea.
I'm just trying to make sure I got these all in order, kind of bunched up. Page 129 is the next one on Lake Cook Distributors. This is novels that were purchased by the English department either to replace damaged ones or get classroom sets after they reviewed their inventory at the end of the school year. The next one is on Board Book 130 under Nextera Energy. This is actually 3 invoices. So we have from February 20th through March 20, and then March 20 through April 20, and then April 20 through May. So that's 3 months of invoices. Let's see.
Somebody wanted to, they want to know why we pay Nextera?
No, they just highlight it just to know why is it that expensive, and that's 3 months of invoices for Nextera. And that's our electric company. Board book page 136 for a payment to Ian Pearson. This was the parent governing board recommended to give some compensation to our lacrosse coach for the startup fees to get everything up and running, and then also being that they had to schedule everything and do all the administrative stuff, they recommended the $1,500 compensation for the coach.
Who's the parent?
Well, let's go back first
Yeah.
before you get the board work done.
Yeah.
Could you also mention the
There
fact
was
that
no
there was
district- no
there's
district
funds
dollars.
that the
No, this was all
lacrosse raise their
funds
own money?
given as a donation or
Right.
funds contributed for that club. And they use club funds to
Right,
pay.
and that particular club still has like $5,900 still
Yes.
sitting in their activity account, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who approved to actually use the funds for that particular use?
So in order to,
See, let me see if he knows.
Well, being
Because
that
there's a policy about what donated funds, who has to authorize the donated funds to be used for a specific purpose,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
the board approved the $6,000 going to the lacrosse club. The donation was subsidized.
Okay,
It was maybe 6 months ago.
okay.
So the board approved the donation and that an activity account be set up to be used towards
Okay.
the account. So that was okay.
Okay,
The bigger thing is, the only reason why you're seeing this is because I didn't want anybody writing a check from one activity account there, so I made to make sure there's a 1099 filled out and it went through. It got processed that way so that our accounting person has to claim that.
well, once we make the we allow to take the donation from the lacrosse club.
We can determine how it's used. Technically, the board has the right to overrule.
But I mean, you sign off on whatever this goes
Correct.
to, is what my question is.
Correct.
right?
They went
Okay.
through Mr. Mannon, who
Okay.
oversees the club.
Got it.
And he meets with them regularly.
Okay.
Key detail there was not our money. It was a donation. I just kind of forgot on that.
I
Key detail.
understand.
You know why? Because
It's a volunteer
we approved
club.
a volunteer coach.
Coach, yes.
And then you see in there, it's a payment to the same
Yes.
person. That just seemed kind of odd to me.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Let's see here, where did I leave off at? Board book page 148, Jim Ross, sound system. This was the sound system that was rented to run the graduation ceremony. Our current system in the gym is not able to handle all the different feeds that are needed in order to produce that ceremony.
Didn't we update the sound system?
We did.
And it still can't handle it?
We gotta have somebody mix it. So like when the choir's singing and then when the band's playing. So if for the additional $1,100, we have this person come in and manage having the multiple mics. We don't have all that equipment.
Okay.
And then we had, let's see here. My last one that we had was, I skipped one. It was on board book page 141 under the American Express bill for Netflix. Our world language department has the monthly subscription to that. They use it for curriculum related videos to give them more exposure to the different heritage behind different languages, and they use that. They'll also be using this summer, reviewing that to figure out what clips they can use or videos for the upcoming school year's curriculum.
Is that it for for questions?
Is it available then for Netflix for anybody in the school?
For the world language department.
Is it limited, the subscription?
I believe it's limited to who they submitted with it, because they had to give the names.
Any other questions, Scott?
Those are the questions on the payables.
Mary Ann?
Go for the vote?
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Ms. Smithing?
Yes.
Mr. Ms. Towner?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Burchell?
Yes.